Ladies and gentlemen, if everybody could rise, we lost a great friend recently, and we wanted to honor his memory and start tonight off with a 10-bell salute. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us this evening as we not only bring to you Never Broken, but bring to you a celebration of the life of one of the best men to ever come through here, Jeremy Wimmer. He meant a lot to a lot of us, and everybody looking around here inside the Rocky Mountain Pro Summit, his fingerprints are all over this place. He hung curtain lights. He painted so much in here. He dedicated himself to this entire place and everybody in it. So tonight, we honor and dedicate Never Broken to our great friend, Jeremy Wimmer, who we miss very, very much. I'd like to bring his coach and great friend, Dewey Larson, to the ring.
Thank you, guys. It's been a long couple weeks. We run a school here at Rocky Mountain Pro, and a lot of people that watch and follow us know that. And today we had a service dedicated to Jeremy. So I just want to kind of reiterate to the world what we did for Jeremy today. So our school, we have a belt system, and it's color-based. White, green, red, all the way up to black belt, like karate. Our black shirts, those are our coaches, our most experienced guys. Jeremy was a TV ref, so he had that terracotta right there, and he wore it with pride. But about 4 months ago, we decided as a group that we were going to promote Jeremy. But I said we needed to wait. He needed to get a little bit more experience. So what does the guy do? He goes out and does shows in 15 other states, and he got some experience, and I'm like, you're ready, dude. You're ready. So March, whenever I leave to start my tour, he would take my spot, and he would become a black shirt. So tonight, symbolically, we're giving Jeremy his black shirt, and we're taking back the terracotta, and we're passing it to the next generation that's coming up. So God bless you, Jeremy. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for being here, folks.
There's one more thing we'd like to do before we get things started tonight. As I said earlier, you can see Jeremy Wimmer all over the Rocky Mountain Pro Summit. We moved in here in November, and he tirelessly worked with everybody to make sure this was a great place to train and a great place to watch professional wrestling. It only makes sense, and it is only fitting that we honor his memory. Tonight, you are first to witness a professional wrestling event inside of the now Wimmer Arena. So Jeremy is watching us from afar. We dedicate this night to you, my friend. We will be as loud as we can, and we will put on the most passionate and intense professional wrestling event we've ever had here. Thank you for everything. We miss you. We love you. We now honor you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, in the memory of Jeremy Wimmer, Never Broken.
I don't really know how best to put this out. You know, there's people that come into your lives that make a huge impact very quickly, and Jeremy was one of those individuals. He was a great fan. He was there every week back in 2019 when we were shooting every week at the quarry in Golden, and he obviously stood out with his bright colored jerseys and his John Cena hats, and he was very personable, and he was always ready to talk to talk to any of us, and just very personal. And then he decided to show up and give this a shot. And when we moved to Fast Performance, he showed up and wanted to learn to be a ref, and was very quickly dedicated to not just this place but everybody in it. There's a lot of good stories that I'm sure everybody has here that they've shared, and one of my favorites was a trip we took to Salt Lake City, and we decided to take the 1988 Winnebago Super Chief that I had purchased to get the whole crew together so we could have a big vehicle to travel the country in, and that we could all stay in. And Jeremy had let me know that he knew a lot about RVs and he wanted to help, and he had called shotgun right away as soon as I bought it. So we take it out on its maiden voyage, and 2 hours in, we lose the power steering and the braking. And it's late at night. We're already, like I said, 2-3 hours into the trip. So we either turn around and come home, or we plow through, and we decided to plow through. So everybody took turns driving. I think Jeremy probably drove the most out of everybody there. I decided to go sit in the front and spin the captain's chair on the passenger side around so I could just kind of lean back and try to doze off while Jeremy, with the white knuckle death grip on that giant wheel and leg pressing the brake, which is what you had to do to get the thing to even think about stopping, navigated a 34-foot Winnebago down a mountain with no brakes. And we got to Martin Casaus's house and pulled up. Everybody went, and then Jeremy just went, "Have you ever driven a 34-foot RV down a mountain with no brakes? Because I have." And that was something that he said quite often. We laughed about it, and he got us there safely, and it was quite an experience. And there's plenty more that I could sit here for several hours and talk about. But Jeremy, we are going to miss you. You put your heart and soul into this place. When you're in here, you can see Jeremy Wimmer all around, from the painting to the curtains that are hung. And it amazed me how talented he was. When you asked for something, you had a vision and you said, "Hey, I want it to look like this," or "I want the arena to look like this." He just figured out how to do it. And from all of that to the stained glass, he made my daughter a Joker stained glass lamp for Christmas, because he knew I was struggling, and I was really struggling to provide her with a good Christmas. So he donated his time, and he took his skill in making stained glass, and he made her little Joker lamp that she still has. So there's just a lot that could be said about him, but I think everybody is in agreement what an amazing human he was, and how devastated we all are that he's no longer with us. But his legacy will live on forever here. We will make sure that we remember him and honor him with everything that we do. So Jeremy, we miss you, and thank you for everything that you provided to us, both professionally and personally. We love you, and we'll continue to make you proud. So I'm gonna miss That was 2.
My bestie. This one is going to be really hard. I want to thank you for coming into my life at a time I needed it. I was so scared to do this again, and you just came and took my hand and told me it was going to be okay. I'll never forget your last words. Your words you would tell me before I would go out and wrestle. You'd grab me by my shoulders and you'd say, stay calm, everybody loves you, including me. And then you'd give me a big hug, even if you weren't repping my match. I'm gonna miss the good morning sunshine texts every morning. I'm gonna miss the good night moonlight texts. I feel bad for not texting you back a lot of the times. But you always made sure to let me know that you were there. I'm gonna miss our road trips, our plane flights, reading comics. I'm gonna miss the nights we skip training just so we can go eat together and catch up. I'll never forget all of our times. And you meant so much to me, and you still always mean so much to me. I love you, bestie.
Yeah, this is surreal, but you know, I just want to say thank you, Jeremy, for everything you did, because you were here since, you know, my day one in the crowd at Corey. We were both cheering people on, and yeah, like, you know, everyone says you had such energy, and one thing I'll always remember is that just get it done attitude. You know, it didn't matter what, you know, your hat was that day, if you were reffing or just in the back, but if something happened, something broke, something needed fixing, it was Jeremy. I mean, just get it done. And, you know, just keep pushing forward. And that's the energy that I want to remember you with, and that's the energy that I want to, you know, that you will always have brought and will continue to bring to RMP. You know, we're all just going to keeping on for you, you know, and living the dreams. So thank you for everything, Jeremy.
You know, these moments are moments that everybody looks at with sadness, everybody looks at with torment, thinking of the memories where you wish this, you wish that, and oh man, I could have did this, I could have did that. I want to leave a good memory of Jeremy, as in he wants us to keep smiling. He wants us to keep doing what we do, being Rocky Mountain Pro, and being great. Jeremy is one of the reasons why this place is where it is today. And he's going to be one of the reasons why we continue to push. He's just such an amazing soul. He's a guy that I don't think anyone could really hate. Like the guy, as soon as I met him, I was a guy who didn't even start yet. You know, I was just a fan, was really wanting to get into it. He was willing to talk to me. He was willing to give me some time of his day. People like that you don't find all the time. Those are people that you have to cherish, people that will last in your memory forever. Jeremy will never be forgotten in my mind. So I'm serious right now, but seriously, like all smiles, because this guy, every time I think of him, I just want to smile. You know, so I'm gonna keep his memory going that way. I'm gonna keep pushing, keep grinding, shining, because he's one of those people that inspired me to do that. He's one of those people that made me believe in myself. So he touched me, he touched others in this locker room, and I really feel like if he kept going, he was gonna touch the world. So, R.I.P. Jeremy, I know you're doing big things wherever you're at. and we're gonna keep grinding for you.
So I met Jeremy back in 2019, back in the quarry days, and he was that one person who came every show. And like stated before, he wasn't just one individual, he was thousands in numbers. That man's energy was contagious in every single possible form. And then he encouraged enough to come to Rocky Mountain Pro and to fulfill a role in becoming a referee, which his work ethic and just his genuine being led him to becoming a leader, a mechanic, a painter. Just the resume goes on, but that man is a diamond in the rough. And not only just his work ethic, but every time he walked in that room, man, like he just lit it up. And like it wasn't by force or anything, it was just his own personal being, and like it was just amazing for his aura to be around. And it really sucks to think like he's physically not going to be here, but in the spirit perspective, he is here in a lot of ways. And he was far more than just a ref and a leader here at Rocky Mountain Pro. I mean, as soon as he joined, I mean, like I knew him in the quarry crowd, but as soon as we started talking, we had so much in common. And I have a lot of weird interests. He is a huge jam band fan. I mean, he's seen Fish, I think, 1,000 times, and like I was blown away by that. I was like, man, that's incredible. Of course, professional wrestling, and then our love for fermenting foods. I was like, man, what don't you do? That's incredible. Like literally, he's the definition of a Renaissance man. And he would make jars of pickles and like he'd hand them off when people do good deeds. I thought that was such an amazing gesture, and I was like, man, this guy does so much. Maybe I can do something. And I actually fermented kimchi in my free time, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get this guy some. And the first batch I made him, he finished it in 2 hours, he told me, and that just lit me up in the best way possible. And then a couple weeks ago, I messaged him, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna get some kimchi up and running, and I can't wait to see your reaction on that. He was really stoked, had pickles ready for me, and kimchi takes a while. It takes about 2 weeks, and the day after he passed, I opened my cabinet to notice I had my jar, and then his, who I physically can't give it to him. And that's a bummer, man. But I don't know where you'll be placed, but I'm gonna get that to you some way, shape, or form. I promise you that, and please hold me to that. Jeremy, there's literally no words to describe you. It's all feelings and all the good ones as well, man. And wherever you are, I hope you hear this, and I love you to death, brother. Respect and pride. I love you, man.
There's not a lot of things that you can say that haven't already been said about a guy like Jeremy Wimmer. We gotta redo that. I fucked up his last name.
Yeah, just keep, yeah, no worries.
There's not a lot of things that you can say that haven't already been said about a guy like Jeremy Wimmer.
Keep it down, can you? Alright, sorry.
You good? There's not a lot of things that you can say that haven't already been said about a guy like Jeremy Wimmer. Dude was one of the kindest, most genuine people I ever had the privilege to meet. He always tried to make everybody else's day better, even when he was having a shit day. And that takes strength. That takes real strength. A lot of us here kind of took advantage of that, because every time there was something that needed to get done, well, none of us had to take it as seriously because Jeremy would do it. And he loved it. It was his favorite thing to do. He loved each and every one of us, and he never took advantage of that. Like he was always paying his dues, which is a term you hear a lot in this business. You pay your dues, you do this, you do that. You always make sure you're up for, or you're there for setup, for teardown, whatever. Jeremy was always there no matter what, and not just for wrestling stuff. Like, he just genuinely cared about people. And I think that's the hardest part of this entire process, is just knowing that I'm never gonna sit back and be minding my own business and hear, "Hey RJ, how's it going?" Or RJ, or just, you know, him being ornery or trying to get under your skin or trying to make you laugh. Or Jeremy was just Jeremy, man. Like, there's no other way to put it. He just went out of his way to put a smile on everybody's face. And all I can really say is, I love you, man. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the laughs. And you will be missed.
I first met Jeremy in 2019 when we ran a show every single Thursday, and one thing always remained the same. He was always in the crowd yelling, "Damn right, Eli," whenever I came out. And, you know, for us it was good to see a fan that was always there, you know. When we would have a show, there'd be a small crowd, it was like, well, at least Jeremy's there, you know. And he told me about 2020 that he was going to start reffing, and I was like, great, you know, we always need more refs. I'm excited. This guy will probably be good. And the first day he started, he was a natural at reffing, but that's not the only thing he was a natural at. Like, from day one, he put his heart and soul into this place. He wanted to have every single person succeed. He wanted to do everything so that everyone could get to the next level, and he sure did that. If you look at Rocky Mountain Pro, half of what we are right now wouldn't be here without him. He was such a massive part of this piece, and he did everything. He never said no to anything, and that made him respected by everyone. But another thing about Jeremy was he was a fantastic person. You know, he's one of those guys that everyone loves when you meet him, and there's not a single bad word anybody had to say about him. And he was always so confident. He would, every time a new person would come, he'd be the first one to greet them. He would always make everyone feel like they had a home here. And Jeremy was he just took off instantly, you know. He became sort of a mentor to me, you know. He taught me a bunch of stuff that I wouldn't know right now without him. And he just changed what reffing was here. He changed how I ref. He gave me some fantastic advice. It felt like I knew him for a decade, but like I knew him for a year. And his impact is already felt, you know. It feels different without him, you know, because he's always here smiling, having a good time. He has a nickname for everyone, and for me it was Mark Smiley, and it's such a stupid nickname, but it's my favorite because it's just so true. Jeremy was he meant a lot to everyone here, and we're all going to really miss him a lot, and truthfully, we're not going to be able to do the job that he did. We can put 10 men on one job that he did, and we're still not going to do it, because that's how massive he was. You know, he taught me so much. He taught me how to act professional. You know, he wanted me to succeed, and he tried everything. You know, when we had the Impact tryout, he was talking to me beforehand, trying to hype me up, and it helped so much. I was so nervous to go out there. For some reason, I'm never nervous now, and I was nervous there, and he made me feel good, and he made me feel safe, and he made me feel like I am a great ref. I can go out there and do this. I don't know what happens after we die, but I hope whatever happens, I'm able to meet him again, because he's just that much of a fantastic human being. So until we meet again, my friend, thank you for everything. I'm going to miss you, and I love you.
J-Man, what can I say? You know, it was been most of my life. I've when it came to relationships with people, mostly men, mostly straight men, has never been my forte. I've always been on the other end of being bullied or beaten or insulted. So, and especially in the past 2 years, even you know, and everything I've been through with my family, losing to my fathers, both of them, almost losing my mom, and even suffering a severe Achilles injury and almost giving up. Yet, you were always somebody, every time I would show up with the most positive, just grin on your face, like, Remy, what's up, my man, how you feeling? Yeah, well, this is a bad day, but it'll get better. And, you know, being a gay man or being a black gay man who just happens to do drag is not the most ideal, you know, depiction of people or a person in this country living, considered an abomination or negative to children or whatever that mess is. But you made it so hard not to bond with you, because I just decided to push people away because I was afraid of losing more people from bonding with people. But you made it so hard just by being you and your 70s jokes and our little inside jokes we would have all the time. But more so, you made it a point not only to accept me, but to respect me. And you enjoyed what I did outside of R&P. You would always come to my brunch shows. You would be the first one saying, I reserved a table for 8 y'all. We're gonna be going to Remy's show, let's go. And you not did that not out of pity, not out of feeling sorry for me, but you legitimately lit up every time I would see you there. You would always be the first one there, and the way you would make it rain on me, you would just take that $1 bill, just make sure every single one. But then I would get every single one of your dollar bills. And afterwards, we would take pictures, and you would just put your arms around me, and it's like, Remy, you're going places, my man. I love you. You just make me so happy. And I'm so thankful, and I'm privileged, and I'm blessed that you allowed me to entertain you, but also just to make you feel good. Even with all the things you may have had going on behind the scenes that we never knew about, I'm so happy that I was able to do my little part to bring some joy to you. And so with that being said, thank you for bringing joy back into my heart. After the couple of years that I've had that I just wanted to give up myself, but thank you for just being genuine, for being a good man, just for being a good man to me, to R&P, to everyone, because you didn't have to, but you wanted to. So, I don't want to go out of this video being all sad and everything, and you have to excuse the glasses. I just don't want to, you know, be all teary-eyed, but as you would say, that you let me be an extra. So when I bring me to your way, I love you, baby. I hope you have peace. I know you have peace now. And continue to watch over this place as we continue to grow, and we'll continue to keep it going as long as we can. Thank you, J-Man. I love you, but rest well.
Jeremy was the kindest and the sweetest human I've ever met. You always had a sparkle in your eyes, no matter how bad things were. That's something I absolutely admired about you. You were there for everybody when they needed you the most. I love you so much. I returned to the company about a year ago. You were always so kind to me, not even knowing who I was. Not looking at anything I've done in the past or the past. And I remember at Milestone, I was taking pictures with everybody, and I remember you got right in front of me, and you're like, let's take the selfie bird. And we did, and I'm so happy we did. I'm so happy we became such good friends. You were pick all that I was bird. That's how it forever will be. So until the next time we meet, be safe. I love you.
I first met Jeremy, and I want to to say mid to late 2020. I walked into Fast. I actually missed the open house that Jeremy had come to, but I walked in and he was in the ring. He was rolling around with everybody. And at this point, I unfortunately was not a part of the Rocky Mountain Pro family when Jeremy was coming to the shows all the time. And, you know, I've heard so many stories about him being the only guy at the quarry, you know, but they said that one guy made it sound like 10,000 people. And I think ultimately, like, that's a testament to who Jeremy was. He cared so deeply, not only about professional wrestling, but about Rocky Mountain Pro and everybody that's been here. I think my personal favorite memory with Jeremy is what we like to call the road trip from hell, when we all took an RV down to Utah, and Jeremy and I had to split the last 7 hours of the drive, driving a giant death trap with no brakes and no power steering down mountains through the night. And we both just did it with a smile on our face. Jeremy got up early in the morning and literally took us down the steepest hill I've ever been in. And we were all terrified that day that we were gonna crash, and he got us all there safely. Jeremy was just that kind of guy. I always loved having him in my matches. I know that nobody would see that if you watched it on TV or in the crowd, because I was always in his face, I was always yelling at him. But that's my job, you know, I was the bad guy and he was the authoritative good guy. But in the back, when we were back here, Jeremy was always kind, he was a leader, and most of all, like, I think out of everybody that I've ever met, he earned my respect the fastest, because Jeremy just took on the role that needed to be taken on. He was a leader, he took over the ring crew, he took over this building. I mean, everything that we have here is massively dedicated to Jeremy now, because he built it. He painted the walls, he rigged the lights, he helped take care of leaks in the ceiling. Like, that dude would come over dead tired from work, and he'd just fix things, he'd do it. And I guess a lot of this still doesn't feel real to me. But he was a really good dude. I loved you, and I'm really sorry that this happened. We'll all miss you. I'll never forget the time that we got to do the Taco Festival and I stole Bruce Wayne's wife's phone and recorded you. I really appreciate you, Jeremy. I think we all do, so thank you.
Love me some Jeremy. When I first started here, Jeremy came in a couple months after me, and we were attached almost about the hip right away. We bonded over Rubik Fish, still one of the greatest bands out there. And every time it hits my playlist, I absolutely lose my mind, because it just makes me think of him. And he was, have you ever heard of the term angel walking on earth? That is that man. And how, you know, he's up in heaven and reffing Andre the Giant right now, playing cards and drinking beer, man. But no, he was absolutely the most amazing human being I've ever met. And all he wanted to do was make people happy, and he did. He could come in and just say one word, and everybody was in a different level of a happy mood than they ever could have been. Yeah, he'd always say love me Samoan on Twitch. He's one of my biggest supporters here. And every time I'd come out of the ring, big ol' hug, big ol' slap on the back, said let's get it going, because you know we always get it going. Jeremy is gone, but his spirit definitely lives on through everybody here and this company, this place, this academy, however you want to say it. Yeah. I love you, Jeremy, and I'll meet you at the top of those stairs one day, and we'll go play cards and drink beer with Andre and John together. Let me miss you, brother.
I first met Jeremy about a year or so ago when I first joined Rocky Mountain Pro, and within the first couple weeks, I realized how hard of a worker he was at anything he did, at anything he was involved with. Whether it be setting up the ring, whether it be getting everything ready, just whatever he did, he put his 100% effort in, and he was always looking for things to do. And it really, I didn't really get to know him much until about 6 months in, when more reps started coming in, and me and him started talking more. And we started talking about his aspirations, and everything started getting a little bit more serious for everybody. Jeremy, he had a lot he wanted to do. He had a lot of goals in his life that he wanted to complete. I knew him for about a year, and I know for sure that a guy like him, he was 42, 43, and he still had more in life he could have done, and nobody would have been able to stop him, because when Jeremy wanted to do something, he would get it done. A guy like Jeremy only comes around, whether around people, whether around a company like this, just in general. He only ever comes around once in a while. And I know right now there's a hole in this company and in all of us that Jeremy left. We'll do what we can to fill that hole, but I know for sure that we'll always remember the guy we lost, the friend we lost, and the friend we're always gonna miss. So, Jeremy, I don't know if I'll ever see you again, but I hope I do. Cause man, I sure do want some of those pickles, man.
It's been a very interesting 2.5 years. From this guy that harassed us in the stands to a guy that says, hey, I'm about to become one of you. And then, damn it if he didn't. About 3 months after Jeremy started training as a referee, I got asked to produce a series of videos to take a referee from a beginning to a TV ready ref. And Jeremy was the first person that went through the entire series. It validated everything I've ever done in the wrestling business. He was a star student. I used to think my son, Max, was my star student. You get it. Jeremy got it. Not only did he have the heart and the determination and the willpower, and he was a fan of wrestling. So many people in this industry, they don't get that. They're a fan of wrestlers. Jeremy was a fan of the business. And it shows in every aspect of this company, in everything that we do. I've been with Matt and Rocky Mountain Pro since they began. And every year, I leave, I start my shoot job, which takes me all over the country, and I don't have the time, so I've always tried to leave somebody to fill the void of me being gone. Jeremy was that and beyond. I mentored him and trained him how to do it in the ring, but you can't mentor and train character and integrity and the will to make a difference in every aspect of the business. And when I mean every aspect of the business, I mean all the lives in the business. This company is so diverse. We come from all walks of life, all shapes and sizes, all nationalities, all sexual orientations. And each one of us meant something different to that man. But ultimately, he loved us all. And we loved him back. And I love him dearly to this day. Over the next forever, people are going to be sharing stories about this guy. And I'm sure you're going to hear stories following this tape. And some of them are fun. But I just hope that what everybody gets from him is what a deep, passionate man he was for everything that he touched. And it's up to us to continue to help his legacy live and flourish. Within these walls, he will always be here. In our hearts, and in our mind, and in our soul, he'll always be here. The last 6 months in particular, I've gotten to know Jeremy, and we became close as best friends. He was my best friend here. Matt and I are really close, and he's been a friend, but Jeremy and I bonded. And some of the things he's gone through, I've gone through. Some of the things I've gone through, he's gone through. Some of my passions were his passions. And we have those aha moments when we're like, oh my gosh, and then we tell another story about one another, or for each other. And I want everybody to know I want everyone to know that no matter what anybody else believes, whatever your religious preferences are, Jeremy was a believer. And I found that out too late. But we had talked about God, and I know that I'm going to see him again someday. I really wish I would have known more of that side of Jeremy. We all know the fun-loving Jeremy, and each one of us have different stories and different experiences with him, but to know that side, that deep, personal connection that the guy had with his faith, I don't think anybody knew that. And he just opened up to me in the last 6 months. He started attending church again in the last couple months. And I was blown away, man. The conversations we had, he needed to fill a void. He was going through a lot. He had some medical things going on. All of us have personal things going on, but it was weighing down on him, man. It was beating him, and he would never go to a person and express that pain, but he would always latch on to people that he knew were experiencing that pain, and he would just love on them, and that's where his reward was. And there's not very many people like that in this world. But I hope that the legacy that he's left in me is that I can continue to be that for other people. I have a big heart. I'm a big softie anyway, but I'm also an open book. People read me. He was a hard nut to crack. Very hard nut to crack. You didn't see the personal side of Jeremy. You saw what he wanted you to see. So in essence, his life was wrestling. That's what everyone in that ring strives to achieve, to pass on a persona of entertainment that is so unbelievable that it's amazing. His life was that. It was amazing. The experiences, the stories that you're going to hear from people, that you've already heard from people, the places he's gone, the things that he's done. Oh, man. I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged that the legacy that he's left in the young and the old hearts and minds here at Rocky Mountain Pro. And lastly, to his family. Thank you for sharing Jeremy with us. I'm sorry that we couldn't do more for you. But I promised Don and I promised Shad. You may have lost Jeremy, but you've gained 40, 50, 60 other people. And we want to stand in that gap. And we want to fill the void that he's going to leave. We can do that for each other. We're here for you. Chris, thank you for sharing Jeremy with us. And we won't let you down. His legacy will live on. Thank you all. God bless you guys.